Welcome to Make It Your Business, the podcast. Get the advice you need to grow your business by getting guidance from industry experts and interviews with successful small business owners. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
Cool. So today's episode, I thought it could be like just a generic overview about sort of businesses for 2023, like things to plan, but also, like what you should be doing, like prepping for the new year. And
I think, it's a great idea. I think January is a time where everyone's thinking ahead, aren't they?
New Year's resolutions.
New Year's resolutions, planning, people are booking holidays, vacations.
I never thought it was an actual thing, like until a few years ago, like I started signing up to a gym, and it was like, I signed up in December, and obviously like it was dead quiet, and I was like, oh, it's not too bad, I quite like this gym, and you get on the machines you wanted. As soon as it hit like, the first week after January, it was packed, there were so many people there, it was ridiculous.
It's funny, if you look at gym models, I know we're going off on a tangent here, but a lot of gyms actually rely on that January sign up, and they lock them in for a year. And mathematically, if they can hold 2,000 people, they sign up 4,000, knowing that they're not going to attend after a certain period, and over 2,000 they'll have the facilities for the rest. It's a very strange business model. But human psychology is so interesting to me. I read a lot about it. But truth is, we like patterns, and this time of year, people are thinking, what about this year? Let's face it, media is not great. It's a bit doom and gloom. Well, so what predictions? Again, I'm not Nostradamus, but I can talk to what I'm thinking about. Okay, so 2023, the year of retention, more important than ever. So we historically, over the last 10 years, maybe a bit longer, business has been fairly easy. There's been cheap money around, consumerism's high. This year, as it gets tougher, and I believe it will, it's going to be about retaining your clients. So whether that's looking at how you perform your service, and reality check for a lot of businesses, they've not been provided a good enough service. But the profit they've been making, it's been hiding it. They've been doing the minimum. If you ask a lot of business people their USP, they're like, oh, it's our high customer service. We've got great customer service. There's a good chance that they've just run in the bare minimum in customer service. And I say that, so, okay, very real world example. I buy something off Amazon, it breaks, I get on my app, they send me another one, no quibbles, no problems, superb customer service. I bought my daughter a new coat. It broke within a week. The company I bought it off then wanted photographs of the fault. Then they made me buy another one. Then they said, send it back. And if we approve it's a true warranty, then... Now, it broke within a week. It was a coat. It was very, very straightforward. They've now alienated me as a customer by their returns process of trying to make it awkward for me to get another one. That's a very real-world example of customer service that has been accepted in the last few years, that now pounds and pence are getting tighter. We're thinking about where we're spending our money. That company's going to suffer unless they radically make over and understand they should be treated. There was a point where, what was the phrase? Customer's always right, which is not factual, but that was ingrained in UK businesses for a certain period where the customer was the king, the customer was the queen. It was everything, and we've got away from that. So I think we're going to see that a lot.
I think we seem to be in like an age of not a complaining culture, but if something doesn't go quite as expected, people will want to make a shout about it, and try and do something until they get their own way. And some things can be quite unfairly damaging on businesses. So I think you've got to think about that side of things. But obviously doing everything you can to try and keep existing customers happy.
I think we're going to have to do more. I genuinely believe that. That's going to come the new norm. Now, look, let's talk about the good news. Because I'm dead excited. Back in December, we were playing with this, and it got us dead excited. on the OpenAI.
Chat GPT.
That's the one.
Yep.
Now, my other trend that I can see this year, and I've given a lot of thought to, is using AI for better customer experiences.
Yep.
So if I've got a client to one of our businesses that's writing an email in and having to wait for a response, or wants to understand the progress of a job, I mean, let's not go off on a tangent too much about how amazing this technology is, but I think we could both agree that the next 3 to 5 years are going to be very different.
Yeah. I think going by, this new bit of technology that's come out, it's called ChatGPT, came out last month, and it's like, if you haven't heard about it, go and watch videos about it because it is super cool. And it just shows you how far, like machine learning has come.
Yeah.
And there's so many different things it can do. It's basically, for anyone that doesn't know, it's a text-based interface, and you're basically, you can type anything to this bit of software.
For business owners, is create me a contract for this. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Write me an email.
And then whatever it spits out contextually, you can reply to. So if it gives you a contract, you're like, and something's not quite right about it, you say, oh, can you tweak it so that it includes this or doesn't have this? And they'd be like, sure, here's an amended version. And it's like,
I'm certainly in my businesses looking at, can I use that AI to allow my customers better communication and better experience without working more hours, employing more staff? So yes, we've got to give people more this year to retain them, but the technology's come on such now.
It's being easier to...
And again, I've said it before, every company is a tech company.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of businesses out there, boots on the ground businesses, bricks and mortar, who have shied away from technology because they don't understand it.
No.
So go out and learn about that, or find a company that will put these automations in place for you. They're not as expensive as you think. And really view it from the customer's perspective. So if you don't give the customer service, let's hypothesize you lose 20% of your turnover.
No.
And you're doing 100,000 a year, and that's 20,000. It will not cost you half of that to put automation in place.
No.
A quarter, I would say. Less than a quarter to put this all in place. If you're the other side and you're on the rising trend, putting £10,000 worth of automation in could save you £100,000 in PAYE payments for employees to do the same tasks.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Now, I'm very pro-employees because I think, you've got people, technology and capital. They're your only real levers.
Yep.
And people are what make business, if I'm honest. But there comes a point where this technology will be more efficient and work 24/7 for the output that you need for your clients. You will still need human beings for interactions, for design, for inspiration, for those bits. But what I classed as the mundane tasks, I mean, this is game changer. So I really feel this year is going to be the start of that AI element coming in. But the catalyst for me is, how can I improve the customer's experience so they buy from me and not somebody else?
Yeah. Because you're not just improving it for your existing customers, like anybody else that goes to use your services, then, you're going to be improving it for them as well. So
absolutely.
And some, I don't know, we've had customers of ours before where they've come to us and because we use certain technologies and make their life easier, they use us because of that. And it's not just
was that stat? I haven't read any research, but it used to be, historically, I've read this, it might have changed, only 8% of the population buy on price. And if that was higher, we'd all be driving cheapest cars, wearing the cheapest clothes, buying the cheapest houses. There's so many other metrics around why we make buying decisions. You're absolutely right. Make it easy. If I've got a problem and I'm paying you to solve it, you don't require me to do anything else other than pay you. It's a much better experience than, oh, by the way, can we have this input? Can we do this? Can we do that? Or what about, if I need to then get involved, I'm sitting there going, what am I paying for? So, no, I totally agree with you. Great point.
And at the end of the day, time is money. And, whether it's the customer's time or, the supplier's time, any time you can save, it makes life easier, is going to be a bonus. So...
what else am I thinking about at the moment? Supply chain. It's not really a trend, but there's been a lot of turmoil in the world the last couple of years. So we're certainly now looking at our more physical products.
Yeah. So if you're a product-based business, then it's about looking at, where you get your product from. If it's alternative suppliers, just in case A, it could be cheaper, or B, like something happens to your existing supplier and you might need to.
But also the metrics from a consumer point of view. So, okay, so from a business point of view, I'm looking at shipping costs, etc. So can it be made locally in the UK?
Yeah.
From a consumer point of view, they're looking at things like, the footprint.
Yep.
Is it ethical? Where the ingredients are coming from? Where are the materials coming from? What the practice is?
Yep.
What are the ethos? I mean, generationally, the younger generation do care now and will make active decisions based on, what are the core beliefs of that business? Previously, it was, I want a pair of trainers.
No.
Nikes are really cool. I like those ones.
No.
Now they're saying, well, actually, they are nice trainers, but these trainers over here are also nice and they use sustainable materials.
No.
Every pair I buy, was it Tom's?
Yeah.
Every pair I buy, they give another pair to a child in a less wealthy country that can't afford it. And that...
People pay more for that.
Yeah. I want a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I'm doing good by using them. They're getting a pair. I know it's sustainable materials. I don't completely understand the environmental, climate change, but I feel like I'm doing my bit to help. And these things that just weren't apparent in business a few years ago, they weren't as important.
I think for consumer as well, it's having that feel-good factor, isn't it? And making that, if you're making a purchase, that, it's not going to have a negative effect on the environment. So, if you've got something that's either, buying something that's carbon neutral or carbon negative, then, it's going to...
If I've got the option, like if it's nothing to me, if I can buy product A is just the product, or product B, and I get the same quality service systems, and I'm doing some good in the world, guess where I'm putting my money?
Well, I've seen it come up more and more, actually. Like now you come to mention it. So you look on, even things when you place orders, even if a company itself isn't carbon neutral or, doing anything actively, it will come to the checkout and you're like, oh, pay an extra £1 and you can get a carbon-free delivery. And they're like, oh, great.
Regardless of your actual thoughts on climate change, or any of these things, because I'm not interested in getting into a political argument with people. Sometimes doing the right thing is just doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Regardless. So, as you say, if it's no zero-sum cost to me to do a right thing and get the product I want, well, trust me, those companies that are offering that are going to be the big winners this year. Again, it all comes down to previously consumer or purchasing was... we backed off a little bit on, how would I put this? When you make a buy decision, there's several criteria. Boom, boom, boom. You have to tick certain boxes. We went away from that for a little while. There was so much money and, there was lots of very bad products and services selling lots of stuff. That's different now. That's changing. Consumers want different. Business owners, well, look, there's a new yardstick. Just stop complaining about it. Get on board. You will ride this through. You'll excel. There will be people that go out of business. Businesses that do not off. It will generally point to you've got a bad service or you've got a bad product if you go out of business. If you've got good customer service and a good product, even during negative times, you will still sell. There's plenty of industries that historically grow. More millionaires and billionaires are created during recessions. Again, those business owners are looking to focus on what do people really want and what do they care about.
What you say, like even if you're not doing active marketing for your business, as long as you're providing that good service or products to your customers, they'll recommend it to all their friends and family, and you get like...
Yeah, I do agree, but okay. So I spoke to a client the other day. We were talking about, and he actually brought it up, which was great because it saved me having to explain too much. But the conversation was about pay-per-click. It was like, well, obviously that's going to cost more next year, isn't it? And I was like, yes. Unfortunately, whether we like it or not, as things drop and the revenue drops, the cost per pay-per-click always goes up. So you are going to have to spend more to acquire customers this year. So you've got to have the profits to be able to do that. Previous podcast, we spoke about price elasticity and how to implement price increases with added value services, etc. It's going to get more expensive, but guess what? Loyal customers, if you're thinking in a longer sense and your clients are sticky, Netflix does not care about my £15 a month. I pay them. They don't care. What they care is that I pay them £180 a year and I'm going to stay for 20 years because then that money gets seriously interested. So it's all about stickiness, offering value, making sure whatever you're offering to your clients, some reoccurring revenue in there, high quality service. During these tough times, you may sail through, but at the other end, it's going to be really interesting.
No, some good advice.
No, I'm trying to think anything else on my mind for this year. And we've talked about, obviously, customer service, AI, and costs are going to rise. There's no doubt about that.
We spoke about price changes of your existing services in a previous episode.
I think what's unique to me, from a business sense rather than economics. So, if in 1980 I earned £8,000 a year and a Mars bar was 10p, and now a Mars bar is £1 and I earn £80,000 a year, my spending power hasn't changed. And over a period of time, it incrementally does this. What's apparent to me over the end of 2022 and going into 2023, we've more like leveled off for a number of years and then it's gone up all of a sudden. So it's not so much wages and services are definitely going to increase to compensate each other. The cost of something goes up, so then you have to increase the wages, the cost of something goes. But it's over the period. It's going to be a lot quicker. And during the periods of disparity where costs go up, there's a period of time where wages rise. They're those very difficult little bands where it causes us as business owners who are doing everything absolutely correct still to have tough times. But tough times come, they go, so do good. You can't have, plants without rain. So I guess you need sunshine, you need summer, you need winter. If you're smart and, back down the hatches?
Back down the hatches, back down the hatches. But it's like you say, it's all about preparing, isn't it? As long as you're expecting it and you can, make necessary changes to adapt your business so that, you're ready for any eventuality, then, hopefully things should be okay. So,
and just be prepared to do things you haven't done before. I know that the marketing business will grow this year because people haven't necessarily had to market in the last 24 months because they've had, say, a lot of built up demand for their products after the lockdown. Will suddenly find themselves in a boat now where they were spending nothing on marketing. They may have to suddenly spend £20,000 a year for the same clients because the circumstances have changed. So there's opportunities. There's opportunities. So I want everyone to be really positive. I don't see anything coming that is disastrous.
Famous last words.
Well, I just genuinely don't. There's lots of talk about currency changes at the moment, not to get onto sort of what you class as grey areas and going to digital dollars and. But back in the 60s, we de-linked, or the dollar de-linked off the gold standard. Same fear factor, and here we are. I think genuinely believe humans and technology are making year on year everything's getting better. All right, there's bumps in the road. It doesn't go up linear. It goes up, down, But as an overall, things are getting better. So I just can't be negative about it. Yes, there's tough times, batten down,
we'll get
prepare, but it'll be better on the other side. So I'm really excited about 2022, 2023. See it? Not even here yet. Good man.
All right.
Good to chat.
All right.
See you then, buddy.